Okay, I feel like I've done this a few times today. So, yeah, I'm not a YouTuber yet, but I'm working at becoming a YouTuber. Anyhow, if you're seeing this for the second or third time, it's because I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm okay with that. So we're live to YouTube. If I had my way, I'd love to be live to Twitter and Facebook and just do all this at once and not have to, figure out which platform is best. Eventually, I do want to get these videos out everywhere. This is the Sound Off Show. My name is Matt Kundle, and I'm the host of the Sound Off podcast. I also have a company called the Sound Off Media Company Incorporated. And what we do is we do voiceovers. Those are scripts I got to read today. So I've been a voice artist for many, many years. And I bought all this equipment to do my voice business. And I thought, wow, I'll do some podcast as well. So I podcast, and then I go, oh, well, my computer's got a camera. So now I'm doing some YouTubing. So here we are. It's a Sound Off Show. Not much. So I just want to use this moment to tell you a little bit about what I've done in the last little while. And for instance, I've got a podcast, Sound Off Podcast. That's Jenna Mosher. She got fired in Ottawa from Jump 1069 she was ruthlessly restructured, as the headline in the Ottawa Citizen said. Ruthlessly restructured. I love that. That's a great expression. Somebody should go and trademark that. And then, of course, send me some money for the idea. Jenna's looking for work. So if you can, listen to the podcast with her. She tells great stories about her relationship with her partner, Jesse. And by partner, I mean work partner, Jesse Reynolds, who was her co-host. And then I think there was a lot of outrage because they were replaced by an American syndicated show. And I'm like, well, that happens all the time. There's Ryan Seacrest and Bobby Bones. And, well, this happens all the time. Yeah, but it's mornings. All right, I get it. I can understand all that stuff. So morning radio is still rather, I think people are still very connected to that, and especially that day part. So that's why the outrage. And at the same time, give Jenna a listen. And she's looking for work. She'd like to head anywhere west of Ottawa. And I'm not even sure by moving my hand if that's like west. It looks actually like pushing somebody east. But again, I'm not a YouTube person. I never meant to get into video. I meant to get into radio. And then, of course, radio became this. So that's why I'm here now. Okay. So please listen to that episode with Jenna. She's got a podcast, by the way, called, and she's doing it with Jesse. So it's their Messy podcast. And thanks also to John Milkey, Milkman Unlimited, who has been helping them along with releasing the podcast. Oh, there's Nat Lozon. And by the way, everybody goes, oh, you do all these great graphics. What's going on with the graphics and stuff? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. Every time I see the graphic, it reminds me of what to talk about. If I didn't have these pictures that I put up on the screen, I would forget what I'm talking about. That's why I do this. That's Nat Lozon. She grew up in Timmins, was on the radio at age 13, and then went to Ryerson, and it was called Ryerson Polytechnic at the time. And now she's moved to, she got a job at Mix 99, and then she moved to Montreal back in 1999 and has been there for like 20 years. Almost 20 years now she's been there. She's now at the Beat 92.5. She is fantastic and kind of got out of radio in 2011, but not completely got out of radio. As you'll hear in the story, she meant to sort of slide her way out. Didn't happen. And she does weekends at 92.5 The Beat in Montreal. And I had the chance to work with her between 2002 and 2006, and we became friends. And by friends, I don't mean like we I mean, the company we were working at, Standard Radio, everybody just worked so closely together. The people you worked with were your friends. That's how close and tight-knit we were. And we talk a little bit about the people we worked for. Blair Bartram's name comes up as well. Two people who are no longer with us. Mike Sennell, who did promotions at Showman and Mix 96 back in the day in Montreal. And as well, Andre Maisonneuve, who in Ottawa was known as Catfish on Live 88.5. He passed away as we're just crossing 2 years. And I kind of pressed Nat a little bit to talk about what it's like to lose somebody that you work with every day, but it's more than that. It's not just a coworker. This is radio. It's not a coworker. This is somebody you do some wacky stuff with them, and you develop these relationships with them. I mean, they drove a Zamboni to Toronto, which was Mike Snell's idea, by the way, along with Blair Bartram. They made it all happen. But you drive a Zamboni to Toronto with this person. It's not just a coworker. It goes way, way, way deeper than that. Now, I mentioned that this is the Sound Off media company, and one of the things we do is we produce a lot of podcasts here. And by produce them, we work with podcasters to put them out, work with your audio, make sure it sounds great, do all that stuff. And here's a few of the ones that we've been working on. Your Wellness Journey. One of the guests, episode 18, 19 is out now, but 18, Marla Barr had Christy Carino on. If you want to monitor your sugar intake, Christy will teach you how to read labels and all sorts of stuff. She's gunning for a sugar-free life. And if you want to get healthy and you're not into the fad diets, learn a little bit about your eating. Your Wellness Journey will take you on that path to better eating. And there's these 1-week detoxes you can sign up for, and you're still eating. You're resetting your digestive system. Your body will correct itself, and often that correction will lead to losing weight. There's not, hey, you're going to lose 5 pounds. No, that's not what that's about. All right. Marla is about eating right and putting the right food into your body. And I do Hot Air podcast, which I'm going to talk about in just a sec. But Marla came on episode 3 with me, and we talked about my body and what I do to it and what I shouldn't do to it and what I need to do to it. And just asking questions about this stuff. She's a food scientist, and yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that sort of thing. That's Kevin Sullivan, who's a wrestler. The Everything is Wrestling podcast is out with another episode. Give that a listen. If you love wrestling, and who doesn't love a little Monday Night Raw and whatnot, there's some stories. A lot of these wrestlers that we watched, whether it was in the 80s and the 90s, they're coming on podcasts and they're telling stories that, for years would never be told because it's wrestling. And, we had to wonder whether wrestling was fake for a while. And then eventually, of course it's fake. It's that fake, that fake, they whack. No, it's not fake. There's like broken necks and all sorts of stuff. And there's stories and behind the scenes and there's some drama that goes on. And Kevin told some stories to Yukon Jack, who is the morning show host at 100.3 The Bear in Edmonton, but also the host of the Everything is Wrestling podcast. And there at the top, you see a baseball player. That's Rick Monday, who killed the Montreal Expos back in 1981. And I have a relationship with, by the way, Hot Air Podcast is basically the podcast that doesn't involve broadcasting. Although Rick Monday is a broadcaster now. He works for the Dodgers, and I believe he's the color guy. Rick Monday hit a home run in 1981 that was sort of the beginning of the end of the Montreal Expos. And I have this relationship with baseball now. I don't watch a lot of it. I'm glad the Red Sox won. Yeah, the Red Sox are my team. And I watched like one at-bat of the World Series, and it was just to hear Joe Buck call the final play of the World Series. And why did I do that? Well, because I'm interested in hearing how Joe Buck does it, because he's the best at sports play-by-play. But I don't deal with a lot of baseball anymore because I'm a little more into football. But if you listen to the podcast, you'll understand why. Expos broke my heart. Rick Monday, thanks for nothing. All right. I think that's pretty much it. What else do I got here? Oh, no, that's it. I'm done. All right. Matt at soundoffpodcast.com. If you're interested in the podcast, you're interested in chatting, whatever, I'm all over the internet. You can give me a call, 204-414-5541 or anything else. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.